people, and welcome back to Ground Zero.
In this contribution, we have a stumper who complained it takes 3/4 of a tank to enter JB, but less than 20 liters to leave. What to do with the excess fuel? Totally agree, especially if you drive.
The stumper said he strongly felt that both countries' immigration departments should work together to implement policies that don't contradict each other.
And if he followed Singapore's ICA rule by filling up 3/4 of his fuel tank, of course, to enter JB for a business meeting, he would have to drive around to use up his petrol or use a pump to withdraw his petrol in order to leave with less than 20 liters in the tank.
Yeah, if he did that, what was he going to do with the rest of his petrol? Discard it? Isn't it illegal to discard the petrol on the road?
Totally, I'm sure. And it's not even environmentally friendly, right? So, yeah. But Stumper Hubby Daddy said, saw this ruling on the news on Malaysian TV last week and pumped more than 20 liters of petrol in JB last night, but there was no restriction. Probably is yet to be implemented, or maybe never will, just like the previous ones. But with so many restrictions and risks, not to mention the congestion both ways, I'll probably not go to JB unless it's due to work or to visit relatives. There must be a better way to do this, whatever the both governments are trying to do.
Well, this is a Gordian knot for frequent travellers to JB, and hopefully they'll come up with a solution soon.
Yeah, in this next contribution, we see another side of Johor that we would not expect to see.
Does Johor need to reclaim land, or is this to hit back at Singapore?
Now, Stumper Marine Engineer was in JB when he said he saw what seemed like a land reclamation project directly opposite Sungai Belong wetlands in Singapore. And he wondered, why is it happening when JB is already 28 times the size of Singapore? Now, he voiced his thoughts that maybe it was a little bit more economical for the authorities there to clear their rural areas, slash at all the trees and everything for development rather than to reclaim land.
Well, there were stumpers who disagreed with him, like this one, wishful dreamer. We should not be paranoid. The fact that they are widening the coastal road that leads to the new Iskandar development area from downtown JB. A civil engineer can tell you it is very easy and cheap to reclaim and extend that stretch of the Lido beach. Sometimes it makes more economic sense to reclaim seafront land.
He said, for example, for a new CBD, seafront hotel, etc. And he said that might be even more economical, even though there's plenty of land at the back of the city where no one wants, which makes sense. Yeah. GPRS system said, please lah, they're expanding the Pantai Lido stretch there. Obviously, he has not driven inside and spoken to the locals. There is a flyover which they are still building nearby along the Dataran area, and this flyover will link all along the coast to ease congestion. And I think he was actually really glad because it's good news for people who drive. And if you're staying in JB, I'm sure you've heard all about the Singaporean who was killed in a car wash.
Yeah, that's very sad. In this article, the Singaporean killed in JB car wash, the Malaysian coffin was too big for the Mandai furnace.
When the deceased Xiao Wei-hua was embalmed in Malaysia, the coffin used was way too big for the Singapore cremation entrance. Eventually, relatives had to buy another coffin last minute. It was obviously rather upsetting and traumatizing for all those involved.
Wow, that's just one more problem that the family doesn't need.
Totally, and I really feel sorry for them because it's no one's fault in this circumstance. Nobody would actually think of the dimensions of the crematorium entrance. It would be really the last thing on a grieving family's mind.
Yeah, well, stay tuned for more clips on Ground Zero.
See you in a bit.